Time's up, I done touchdown. I'm high stepping for the touchdown. I stay repping for the slums where the young bucks started loaded up.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the AFC South Fan Battle Podcast. My name is Samantha Wernet. Hope you guys are having a fantastic week. It is Thanksgiving week, and we are wrapping up week 11 in the AFC South in the NFL. So let me introduce our commentators for this evening. Representing the Jaguars, we have Justin Gunsaulus.
Urban Meyer is trash. End of story.
That sounds like facts.
Mm-hmm.
Representing the Texans, we have Matt Briggs.
I'm going to get full on turkey like the Texans getting full on W's. Let's go, baby.
You don't get to say that too much, do you?
I don't, baby. Woo! Victory Monday.
Representing the Colts, we have Chris Jackson.
Jonathan Taylor for president, everybody. Jonathan Taylor for president. I need not say more.
No, actually, I might agree with you on that one. And representing the Titans, we have a new commentator this evening. This poor guy. He's coming on after a loss, and I feel bad for him. But we're going to haze him the way you're supposed to be done properly. So representing the Titans this evening, we have Isaiah Baker.
Number one in the conference.
Okay.
Number one in the conference.
Just straight out the gate. It's just straight out the gate with facts. I like it. I like that confidence. It's good. Well, guys, it's been a very interesting week in football. We already have the comments rolling in. It's been an interesting week in the AFC South in general. But let's start off with NFL news, things going on in the league. Chris Jackson, do you have anything that you want to say? Anything major news that's gone on in the NFL?
I mean, if you go to NFL Twitter and check out the cover photo, I think you pretty much see everything that you need to.
Oh, my God.
And can you enlighten us?
I thought Harish was off the episode.
Listen, no. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do this because the thing is, everybody gets to take a certain win that they get. Anytime that we get any type of major coverage with anything, I'm going to go ahead and be excited.
So can you enlighten listeners that may not have seen it or don't have Twitter?
Okay, so after Jonathan Taylor's performance yesterday, they put him on the cover photo for the NFL Twitter page. And I actually have to pull up the quote, but it's actually a fantastic quote. It's a very good quote. It was the best of all quotes that I've seen recently.
It was the best of something.
Yes, it says he knows the end zone all too well. Jonathan Taylor's version.
See, everybody
over the pile with a cape.
The short story is a lot of people are saying Taylor for MVP. What Colts fans are not getting through, they're talking about Tyrod Taylor for MVP. Okay, after one game, MVP for Tyrod.
If he wasn't a Virginia Tech product, I would have something to say about that. But I'm glad to see Tyrod thriving against the Titans because that's not going to happen against the Colts. But I mean, either way, that's neither here nor there. But you know what, Sam? Go ahead, continue. We're going to get to that.
I got to watch Aaron Rodgers whine about an injury as an excuse. I don't have any other NFL news. Anybody else have anything to add?
Well, I mean, are we sure that Aaron Rodgers wasn't lying about the injury?
Las Vegas was pretty quiet this week, so there's not a lot of, not a lot of news to be breaking.
So, are we still running with that theory? I mean, I am.
What's the theory? Sorry.
No, I'm talking about the Raiders, like Ruggs.
I thought you were talking about sports betting.
Don Gruden. I'm talking about the Raiders being quiet, but I mean, that's y'all's theory. I don't think it's true, but you go with your bad self, Quentin House.
You're gonna call a man out that's not even here. That's messed up. Well, Justin, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, Henry Ruggs is on house arrest because he murdered someone because he drove drunk. But that's it.
Oh, and he's apparently been playing NBA 2K, and people are outraged. Like, what else are you going to do on house arrest?
What about you? What about you, Isaiah, the newbie? You have any NFL news? Important?
I don't got no news to share.
Is Derrick Henry playing yet? Just kidding. That was mean. Okay, let's move on.
Oh my lantern.
That was mean. That was mean. Well, guys, let's just jump right into it, shall we? We're going to talk about this week's games, and we're going to start with, in my opinion, although I'm the non-biased host, is the most heartbreaking.
Do I have to?
During our episodes in, March, April, May, when we knew things were going to happen in the draft, I don't think anybody expected like playoff Jaguars, but I don't think anybody expected this Jaguars. So Justin,
okay.
49ers at Jacksonville.
Yeah, I mean,
Give us a breakdown.
Yeah. So the defense, like the first half, I mean, really held the 49ers offense. I mean, shit. In the first quarter, I think the Jags only had the ball for like 2 minutes. The rest of the 13-minute allotment was the Niners, like, 18 play, like 10 first downs or some craziness like that where they had the ball. But the only way they kept extending the drives were due to an undisciplined Urban Meyer team. Shocker, right?
Man, that sounds like the Texans.
Kind of shocker, right? Undisciplined Urban.
Now, can I ask you something real quick?
Yeah, hit me.
So I was watching local news last night because I live here in Jacksonville, and the commentator,
He was at the strip club?
No,
Urban?
I wish, because then maybe he would get fired. But probably not. But maybe, we don't know.
Sure.
Anyways, the guy who runs the night sports commentating was talking about the game, and then they were talking about Dan Mullen being fired and possibly being brought in as OC. How do you feel about that?
Sure. I mean, anything's better than what we got right now. I didn't really like the Bevel and Schottenheimer hire to begin with, but hey, it's here. We got to deal with it. I just think at this point, no one has a good grasp on what kind of offense or defense they want to run. The defense, I think Cullen's got it figured out. I mean, even with secondary guys throughout most of it and getting rid of like your secondary with Henderson and Sidney Jones, stuff like that, the defense is playing above where I thought they would be right now. It's just the offense is just in shambles. I feel like Trevor doesn't know what's going on or doesn't know what type of offense he's running. And overall, I don't think they're prepared at all for anything on offense. It seems like, because they just, I've seen Blake Bortles led offense work better than what's going on right now, which is a shocker, right? Because Trevor Lawrence is a millennial ahead of where Blake Bortles was in his prime. But I just think
he's available.
Who, Bortles?
He's a free agent.
Sure. Yeah. But I think at the end of the day with the team, we just got to figure out what our offense is and find ways to score because the defense is doing their job. The only reason the 49ers were able to score all those points is just due to an inept offense that couldn't do anything to garner any type of first downs. So
do you place any blame yet on the offensive line?
No. I don't even think it. I mean, yeah, I don't even think we can even get into that topic at this point. I think when it comes down to it, it's going to come down to Urban and his coaching staff, because I think what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks, you already saw during the game that their head of player personnel left for Texas. Okay. Like he's already gone. He's gone. I think Urban said he fired him, but I don't think that's the case. I think people are trying to get out of the sinking ship and find good jobs while they still can. But I think he's going to fire the OC along with Schottenheimer at some point and let that be the scapegoat for him not getting fired. So we look terrible. Hopefully there's a fix soon. End of story.
Well, a lot of Jaguar fans are surprised of how bad y'all got beat. The Niners not that bad of a team.
No, they beat the Rams. I mean,
yeah, they just can't stay healthy. I mean, Kittle is coming back. Debo is finally fully healthy. They're finally getting healthy, and they're winning. They're beating good teams. So I'm not.
Yeah, they beat the Rams defense, and the Jaguars don't have one. In my opinion, there was it was riddled with injuries.
Well, like Justin said, it's not that the Jaguars don't have a good defense. It's just they were on the field way too long. That's how the Texans don't have a bad defense this year.
What was it? Was it 13 minutes?
Yeah, it was a lot.
13 minutes that the offense played.
In the first quarter? Yeah. Oh, in total, our offense? Yeah. I don't know that answer. I know in the first quarter, the 49ers had like a 12-minute drive, which is ludicrous. Who has the ball for 12 minutes in a quarter, on one drive? But I digress. Shanahan's a genius. Urban's an idiot. Get rid of him. Get rid of our owner, too, while we're at it. Let's just check off all the boxes, too.
Damn, you really sound like a Texan fan.
Yeah,
we got room over here. Come on.
Well, listen, you sounded like that until this week, though.
Oh, I'm still like that. But we'll get there.
Yeah,
I'm still there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Anything else to add, Justin? Next week playing the Falcons. What do you think will come of that?
We're gonna lose. I mean,
yeah.
I'm looking at the draft at this point. I mean, I'm looking at the draft at this point. Hopefully, we get Thibodeau from Oregon. That's it.
All right.
We're trash. We're bad until we're not.
We're taking them first. So,
trust me, you're gonna play us and you're gonna win. So there's another loss in our column. There's another win in your column. So, end of story.
All right. Well, we'll move on to some optimism. Bring this podcast up a notch. Damn.
Factory of sadness.
It gets better. AFC South, not Jaguars, but AFC South. Colts at Bills. Chris Jackson. We already know Jonathan Taylor was the hero. You know what? I love him. I do. I remember when that rumor came out at the beginning of the year, like who was going to trade for Gardner Minshew. And it was him, and then who else was on there? I think it was DeForest Buckner. On a rumor, there was like 5 players.
It's not a rumor if you're the only one saying it.
I didn't say it. I read an article.
Listen, as far as that goes, if you ever read an article that says Jaguars country or some craziness like that, then it's not true. There's no way possible. We are not the Texans. We will not trade away our best players for gummy bears and jujubes. We will not do that. Sorry, Matt.
That's not us no more, sir. Okay.
You take that shit back.
Right. Hey now. We only trade masseuses, okay? We don't trade great players. We trade masseuses around here. Get it right.
And only if they're full service.
Exactly. Working on those glutes. Come on now.
No, the groin. It was the groin, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh. But Jonathan Taylor had a day that we know, like Colts fans have known all along, that he can have if you don't give the ball to Carson Wentz 51 times and only give him the ball 16 times. I mean, we know that Jonathan Taylor he has speed, he has power, he can run in between tackles. So there's no reason in hell why they shouldn't have been doing this all along. I mean, I think he averaged for the year somewhere in the teens in terms of carries. And then finally, against what was supposed to be the number one defense in the league, you give the ball to him 32 times, and then he runs for almost 200 yards. It's exactly like what the hell we've been saying.
So, yeah, I didn't actually get a chance to watch that game. So what was the score breakdown for the Bills? Like, it was 15. So what was the breakdown?
So they had 2 touchdowns that they scored. They had 1 touchdown with an extra point, and then they had another touchdown with a 2-point conversion that they were able to get.
Okay.
So
we saw Big Dick Mitch come in. Mitch Trubisky.
I am not saying that. I am you can do that. I am not. but Mitch Trubisky eventually came in because at that point it's just like the game was out of hand. Buffalo fans were leaving the game at with 5:27 left in the third. It was
before we go on, I got a question for you and Justin. I know Justin pays attention to the draft.
Mhm.
Jonathan Taylor was the fourth running back taken last year's draft. Do you think coming into that draft, did y'all think he was the best running back, or did y'all think he was the fourth best, like everybody else thought?
If you're asking me directly, I definitely thought he was going to be good. Okay, yeah, I definitely think.
Did you thought he was going to be better than Clyde Hare and Casey?
I thought Jonathan Taylor was going to be more of a scat back. I didn't know he had that much power. So yeah, I would have thought CEH would have been, or CHE, whatever his name is, would have been better. But I'm kind of surprised of he can just run through people, dude. It's pretty awesome. So yeah,
I honestly thought Casey was going to pick him up. Yeah, they would have been smart.
I mean, honestly, if you look at his resume just from him running in Wisconsin, even the way that people talk about him, you knew, okay, well, this guy can be explosive. He does have those abilities, but never thought that it was going to be anything like this.
Well, and that's what I was going to say.
Mileage, though, right? He had a lot of mileage on him there.
Well, he wasn't even as explosive last year. His stats may match up, but this year he's been insane.
So the problem that they had with him last year is kind of like what Frank Reich does every year, where he starts off slow with some players coming in, and then eventually he'll just go ahead and just unleash them. If you look at the beginning of the year, I'm pretty sure he probably would have still been in timeshare, not getting as many carries with Mac if Mac didn't get hurt and he was out for the year last year.
But plus, I mean, you got to factor the whole COVID situation last year.
I'm looking at his stats right here. He's pretty much already matched.
Yeah.
He's 2 over in touchdowns this year than he was last year.
Yeah.
His attempts are almost matched, and he's only 77 yards off of the total yards he did last year.
Yeah, and then, I mean, that's with him being limited in the first half of the season, too. Because if you see his stats in his rookie year, the last 8 or so games of the season, that's when you really see him just come on, just be comfortable. And then Reich finally gives him the ball, which we're seeing now. Frank Reich tried to have Carson Wentz come in and play hero ball. But I think if you look at the game last night or yesterday, you'll see that Carson only threw the ball 20 times. Jonathan Taylor had 32 carries, and he stuck with what worked. Where we've seen him just go to Jonathan Taylor early on and then just go completely away from the run as soon as there's one run for a loss. So,
like Hurry said it too just now, he's also getting in the passing game, which is opening a lot of doors for him.
Yeah. And I mean, he had a receiving touchdown, which, I mean, pretty much looked like it was dead on arrival. But I mean, he made one guy miss, and then he's off to the races, and that was, I think, his second or third touchdown. So,
Isaiah, you're really quiet. I know it's a rough week. I know it's a rough week for you.
No, I would say it's just the first time I've ever done something like this, and I don't know when to jump in.
No, you just jump. Just don't. Do you have some shit to talk?
Do it.
Cut us off. Cut us off and do it.
Talk shit. Do it.
I'll start up.
Do it right now.
Just tell them. Say Colts fans like to kiss each other. Just crazy.
Just tell them. Jonathan Taylor is overrated. Derrick Henry is the best running back in the AFC South.
His nickname in my fantasy league is second best running back in the AFC South.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Eat shit.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. But Henry holds the crown. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
until Jonathan Taylor takes Instagram pictures without his shirt, he is not the best running back in the league.
Well, if he did, Colts fans wouldn't post it on the page. So I mean, let's just get that out the way now, okay? We're not the post shirtless pics of players talking about, you have to believe that this guy is going to dominate you at some point. It's just first off, sir, I really need you to watch your wording because that's suspect. So yeah, we definitely don't worry about that. But I mean, you can call it what you want. I mean, the best of ability is availability. And
so who y'all got next week?
I think we have Tampa next week.
Oh,
so I like it. I like it as far as the test goes.
At Tampa?
No, in Indy.
Okay.
So that makes it a little less hostile. But you know, like I said, I think
so. Coming off a big win, going to a big loss. Man,
I listen. You know what? The one thing about Tampa Bay is Tampa Bay isn't the same Tampa Bay that we saw last year win the Super Bowl. I mean, to me, it's just like the secondary is not necessarily as good as it was just because of.
Well, injury. They started off like the Super Bowl Tampa, and now they're starting to fizzle off.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, it's just like I think right now you're dealing with, you know, the Packers probably being the team to beat in that or in the conference. So, you know, I mean, honestly, I think it's just like it'll be a tough game against Tampa. But I mean, honestly, if I'm being completely real, the Bills, it was fool's gold. Like, yeah, the offense is actually pretty good. Like Josh Allen is good, fantastic. But when you see they have the number one defense and then you look at who they've played, if you don't have the number one defense against those teams, then I mean, yeah, there's a problem. I mean, they had the number one defense against what? Washington, Houston, no offense, but you understand. Miami.
No offense.
Miami twice.
I breathe in that. I was born in it. All right.
I was born in it.
Yeah. You're merely adjusted to it.
But yeah, but no, Jonathan Taylor's for real. You know, I mean, I know that everybody's going to say, well, until he runs for 2,000 yards, I'm just like, well, I mean, I'd rather him rush for 1,500 and then we make it past the wild card. So
I do got to say the Colts did fuck me in fantasy. I had the Bills defense and Carson Wentz as quarterback. I got -2 and 6 points. Like, fuck you guys.
He just laughs about it. He's like, ha ha.
Listen.
So, Chris, moving into next week, playing the Buccaneers. They're currently beating the Giants 17-10, but that, you know, it's the Giants.
Come on, Daniel Jones.
What do you think the outcome of that game will be, and what will be your biggest struggle, and besides Tom Brady?
I know their D-line is actually pretty strong. As long as Levante David and Devin White are there, they're going to be a problem. I think that front seven is an issue. I don't think the secondary is as strong as it should be. But, I mean, honestly, we've seen that Jonathan Taylor had a great game. I don't see them going to him as much next week because, I mean, he's a guy that you have to really just focus on now.
Why? Why wouldn't they take a chapter out of the Titans playbook and just use him every single game until he breaks down?
Because we don't have to. Because the thing is, you don't have to. Like, we know that Carson Wentz can throw. I mean, you know that he can make the passes. So, I mean, we don't have to solely rely on Jonathan Taylor because we know that Carson can also get it done.
If you guys heard an entirely different Chris Jackson at the beginning of this season, say aye. Aye. Matt, yep.
Absolutely. So
that was not, you were not a Carson Wentz believer at the beginning of the season.
So let me tell you like this. Oh, go ahead.
You were talking about how you don't have to give Taylor the ball and all that. I saw this, I don't know if you would call it statistic or just like a fact. It was talking about, I think it may be 6-0 or 7-0 now. Colts win-loss record, undefeated when he goes over 100 yards rushing, but they haven't won a game when he doesn't go over 100. So I would almost say, to a certain extent, y'all would need to feed him.
I mean, yeah, because I mean,
so eat shit is what he's saying.
Yeah, the newbie just dropped the ball on you, Chris Jackson.
I like it. I love
how Justin.
Let me address the Carson Wentz comment, because the thing is, my biggest knock, because if you remember at the beginning of the season, I said that Carson Wentz has had some good years, but my biggest knock on him was injuries. That was what my issue with him. I said he had one bad year. So
Matt, to confirm. Matt, confirm.
Yeah, he did say that.
Okay.
He did say that. He did say that he was not a Carson Wentz fan only because of injuries. That's true.
I'll believe it.
I don't believe it either. Thank you, Justin. Go ahead. Keep going.
but then going back over to Isaiah. So let me ask you a question. The last game that Derrick Henry played, he had 68 yards, correct?
He did.
Playing on a bum foot. How many carries did Derrick Henry have?
All right. He had 28, but you just mentioned the bum foot. Like,
No.
that game's a bad
Isaiah, you should have told him. The only stat that matters, we got the W. That's what you should have told him.
No. Don't tell me.
No, hold on. This is just funny to me because this is like bum fights. Remember that back in the day? Because we got the bum foot
Kimber
quarterback
Slice.
and the bum foot running back arguing. But go ahead.
Let's also be very clear about this. Derrick Henry didn't get an injury in the fourth quarter. He got that injury in the first quarter, and then they continued to run him, knowing that he had a bum foot. So the thing is, if we're talking about how the offense goes, and then fast forward to now, where Ryan Tannehill just threw 4 interceptions yesterday.
So is it like the quarterback having 2 sprains, still playing?
Yeah. I would almost say,
but he did 4 interceptions after 4. Listen, I'll take Carson with 2 sprained ankles, not throwing 4 interceptions in the game, than I would Ryan Tannehill completely healthy, giving the ball away like it's a Thanksgiving turkey.
He was sloppy.
You get one.
I have no defense really for that. It was sloppy. It was sloppy play.
But you know what? I can't ruin Sam's segue into the Titans-Texans game. So I'm going to retract now, and then I'm going to intercede once we get into this one because
segue. Tannehill throwing a Thanksgiving turkey. Is it stuffed? No, because Derrick Henry is hurt.
He changed his name to Oprah Tannehill.
Why is that?
Oh my god!
He's getting interceptions to everybody. You get one. You
got him.
Turnover Tannehill.
There's an interception under there. I'm guaranteeing it.
I think my favorite meme that's come out this week, it was like Ryan Tannehill without Derrick Henry, and it's like where it phases him out, and then it slowly shows him in the Dolphins jersey. I was like, oh. I've been saying that. My favorite
one is Tom and Jerry. Tom's reading the paper. It says 7-0 against playoff teams, and next week playing the Houston Texans. And he turns around and gets a big old pie in his face, like suck it, motherfucker.
With an L on it.
No, I think my favorite was last year, and it was like a legit thing. You know how like CBS Sports does the like best pass rusher, best running quarterback, blah blah blah. It was a like best handoff. Ryan Tannehill. I'm like, what is that like? Is that a compliment? I don't know. Anyway, that being said, moving on. Texans at Titans. And you know what? No. Matt, he sat here quiet this whole time. He hasn't said a lot. And I'm not going to set him up for failure, so I'm going to let him go first.
That's what I was telling you before.
That's setting him up for failure.
So, Texans at Titans. I know we had a few people in the group that were actually at the game. Actually, our commentator, John Haw, flew from Utah to go be in Nashville and watch the game. He actually posted a picture, and I was there. I don't know what it's supposed to be outside of Nissan Stadium. So if you're watching, comment. But it looks like a roller coaster that goes into the water. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet for the Titans fans to.
That's our season. Huh?
Yeah. But that being said,
John was on Runspringer.
Huh?
Oh, that's Amish, huh? That's not Mormon.
Yeah. Wrong one.
Wrong religion.
Amish isn't a religion. I don't think, is it? I don't know. Anyways, moving on. Let's stop before we get canceled.
Amish isn't a religion, it's a lifestyle.
Oh, thank you. Chris is Amish. That's why. Those aren't dreads in his hair. That's actually his hat. Anyway.
Amish friends.
I have Amish friends, guys. Okay. All right. Seriously. So Texans at Titans. People went. Safe to say, those people are bad luck. Oh, Ray Cherry went. Our other Titans commentator. He was at the game too. Everybody got rained on. And the Titans also got rained on with that game. So, Isaiah, give us a rundown. What happened with that game? Texans at Titans.
It was rough, in which I was at work, so I had to listen to it. So I didn't get to watch like all the fine details. But I mean, just bad luck, honestly. We had the ball, and we ended up punting it off. They go, but they get a field goal. Then we give the ball back. They get the ball, yeah. All right, I'm not good at this. What I was trying to say is they get the 2 field goals, and then it's still a 1-possession game, but then we just can't capitalize. We get a field goal, and
now, do you think that the unable to capitalize was because of, Derrick Henry, obviously is a beast. Nobody can deny that, but he's been gone. Yeah. It came out now that AJ Brown is hurt and Julio Jones was out, correct?
Yeah.
So do you think
I wouldn't blame it all on Henry so much? Obviously, our offense is far better with Henry, but then we did have AJ Brown for that first bit, and we still couldn't do anything. It was just all around bad performance. Even before the turnovers and stuff, we would get into second and short, third and shorts. We just couldn't convert them either. We just stalled out, and then we would finally get some momentum, and then that's when he started throwing the picks. And then
we had a comment that came in from the group. It said Brown played yesterday, though, despite him getting hurt, which I know, but like we were talking about earlier, sometimes they play even though they're hurt, and the Titans have been known to
he wasn't. He wasn't on the injury. He was healthy, but he got hurt.
He played, he got hurt, and then he ended up just sitting. I forget when exactly he quit going in.
Second half, he didn't show up at all.
Yeah, I would say we did have him to begin with, though. We still couldn't do anything. I thought I said that. I may have said it wrong, though. I thought that's what I said, though.
It's all good. We understand.
Yes, we do understand.
So then I have a question for you, Isaiah, because this is my thing. Because the thing is, we've in multiple groups, we talk about this all the time. Where you say, okay, who benefits more from the relationship of Henry and Tannehill? And we've always been told that, Henry wasn't running like that before Tannehill got there. So, do you really feel like Tannehill is especially with the season he's having, because he's 13 TDs and 12 interceptions. Do we really believe that he's actually the guy that can carry the team even with Derrick Henry out? Because I think it's just yesterday's game was, it was terrible. I think he threw the ball 52 times.
Yeah.
Damn.
But he had 4 interceptions and 1 TD. At what point do you put the ball in his hands that much only for him to have that bad return?
Well, I will help out Isaiah a little bit.
No, don't do that. No, let him stand on
the offensive line is not helping Tannehill at all. He's been sacked almost twice as much than he did all last year. So he's not used to getting pressured at all. So he's getting gun shy. But he is making dumbass throws. Some of those is what the fuck were you doing? But it's not all his fault. Missing him.
The first part you said about who feeds off better, who feeds off the other one more, I'd say it's almost they do feed off of each other. I think it's pretty obvious though that Tannehill feeds off of him more. He plays better when he has that running threat. But
can I tell you something that I've noticed?
Sure.
It just brought up a memory. Justin, you may remember this. How old are you, Isaiah?
I'm only 20.
Oh, you're just a baby. So it was 2007. Justin, do you remember that? Do you remember that Jaguars Titans game in 2007? That was just a slop fest, and we beat the ever living shit out of them, and it was pouring down rain the whole time.
Yeah, the rain.
And the same thing happened when we played them here in 2019. So did the Titans just play awful in the rain? I don't know. But historically, if it's raining, from what I'm noticing, the Titans don't play well. I know there's a bunch of factors, but maybe that's their demise. Because oil and water don't mix, and they are the Oilers by proxy.
I got him.
I'm not gonna lie. But
Dynamite drop in. Love it.
I do think Tannehill is good though. Like he threw the ball 52 times and he did have all the interceptions. But like look at the yards he put up. And in one of the interceptions, it was like the receiver had it, but then like rolled over. So and I didn't listen to it on the radio, but they rolled over and they got it. So like you take away or say he completes that takes an interception away.
Well, how about all the ones he threw to the Texans defenders and they drop them? He could have thrown like 8 interceptions that day if the Texans didn't drop them.
I wouldn't say 8 because they would end up canceling out. They would cancel out, so it wouldn't be fully 8. But it got to a point, especially after Brown quit coming in. Like, that's one reason he threw 52 is because of like hero ball almost, like having to throw. It was getting to that point, and so forcing the ball that'll just create more turnovers. So it was sloppy, set up poorly, and then definitely in the rain. Like if you're throwing 52 times in the rain, that's definitely up the odds. Make a mistake.
You know who didn't have any interceptions? Ty God. He didn't have 0.
I mean, he wasn't airing the ball out.
Guess what he played in? Guess what he played in? The rain.
I mean, he wasn't airing the ball out though. He was relying on the more.
He passed for 200 yards.
Yeah, not airing it out though. I will admit though,
a comment just came in and said, "I will say it now: the division might still be up for grabs."
I don't think so.
I think so.
You think so?
Yes. Not saying the Jaguars are going to be involved, but I think it's still up there. I
don't know the way that this is going. The Texans beat the Titans. Might have a chance if we went out.
I say no. They're going to
and they lose out.
The turnovers is just sloppy football. Like they're going to turn it over. I will say next week that's a real test to kind of see if they lose next week. I will admit, then it may get a little the division may be up for grabs. Playoff chances though, like the Titans 99% playoff odds.
Like, I mean, standing where they are right now at 8-2, I think that was before this game.
It was before the loss. Actually, I will admit that.
Ricky Wild,
I'm not worried about the playoffs.
Ricky Wild thing said the Texans are coming to surprise everyone. Matt,
get off the gas, okay? Weed is illegal in many states, okay? Put the meth down. We're not in Jacksonville.
Oh, jeez. That escalated quickly.
Nice.
Hey, they are 2-0 with Tyrod Taylor, though.
No, sir. They're 2-1. We lost it a bit, Browns.
Did he play against the Browns?
Yes. First half got hurt.
All right, so I didn't do my homework, bro. I'm going to look like an idiot on here.
No, don't worry.
Don't worry. We all look like idiots on here.
Listen,
But my point was Tyrod Taylor, he's been a career, not saying like Super Bowl caliber, but like he's been a career flirting with the playoffs. So, I mean, y'all may build a little steam. Highly unlikely, though.
Going back to the division might be up for grabs. The Colts play the Buccaneers. I mean, they get the win against the Texans, the Patriots, the Cardinals, the Raiders, and then the Jags. And they always lose Jags at home. So, I mean, is it really up for grabs?
Yes.
I don't think so. I don't think the Colts are going to come back.
So if we're being completely real, because they said the Texans game should have been won by the Titans. Now, all I've been hearing from Titans fans is that they play down, and then supposedly I think they have the second easiest schedule in the league for the rest of the year. So I mean, if they're out here playing down to teams that they know they shouldn't have, and then you have Tannehill throwing 52 times in a game, and turning the ball over the way that he has, I mean, honestly, it's just like I don't think that they'll play as sound as you would like to believe. Like I don't see them winning the rest of their games.
Who, the Titans?
Yeah.
I say they'll win enough. I say the Patriots, that's almost a toss-up. But a loss like that, especially at home, the way they lost, that's an embarrassing loss. So that'll fire them up. I say the Patriots in Foxborough, that may be a rough game, but after that, they should pick it up for real. I got them winning, though. I'm not saying they're going to lose. It'll just be a tough game. But you say they played down. If you look back at their win streak, at the amount of one possession games and such, like last second victories, like they know how to pull out wins.
Yeah. I'm just saying, well, I'm only going according to what Titans fans have said. So it's y'all's words, not mine. But I mean, if we're being completely honest, it's just like, we talked about the fact that, if the weather was as bad as it was, why was he throwing the ball 52 times? Like, even the weather was even bad in our game, and then it's just like I said, we kept the ball on the ground.
I say we just weren't able to do that so much because it ties into after we got down, that up the pass attempts, but then even before we got down to like where we had to throw almost, we weren't executing the second and shorts, the third and shorts on the ground. Mm-hmm. And so we had to lean on it, and we just got unlucky in it.
Okay. I just had questions. But, it's just like I said, I'm not going to grill you too much. I just admire you being brave to come on after that loss to the Texans because, that's
ain't nothing to worry about. It's all good in Nashville. Like, I'm not worried a bit.
No, I'm not telling you should be. It's just like it was a great effort. I mean, even better effort from the Texans. But, I mean, it was a great effort.
Matt, do you have anything to add to that game?
Yeah, it pissed me off. I mean, I don't want to win. The fuck you doing? But, I kind of had a feeling we were because we played last year, even though we got swept by them, we were still in both games. We lost by a point in both games. So we always play the Titans close. The Titans always do drop a game. I mean, look at the Jets. So I kind of knew it was happening. And when they couldn't like Isaiah said, couldn't capitalize on anything, I knew it was coming. But I know the Texans like the Texans, and they like to give up leads at halftime. So I wasn't holding my breath. I wasn't bragging like everybody else was. I was going to wait the game finished and then start talking that shit. But it was a win-win. Like if we lost, we go higher in the draft picks. If we lose, or if we won, we beat the Titans. So it was a win-win. Like,
yeah, I definitely upset some Texans fans in the group because I posted, and now the Texans awake from their slumber. And they're like, we've been here. And I'm like, no, you haven't. It's okay.
Yeah, you've been fucking sleeping.
I would also assume that the Jaguars would also awaken from their slumber after beating the Titans.
But now, I hope I have Texans fans listening. Please don't get your hopes up. Please. Don't say we're coming back and winning the division. Put down the meth pipes. We are tanking, guys. Even though the Texans failed, like we always do, we are not winning. We are no contenders.
You know how I know we have a group full of old men? They're currently in the chat box arguing about the weather.
It wasn't raining? Oh, yeah, it was. It wasn't raining.
It was raining really hard, though.
Back in my day, I had to walk in the rain.
I used to
3
have
miles forward, 3 miles back.
Back when my team went to the Super Bowl and they was at Baltimore, we had to use the Farmer's Almanac to see when we could play our games.
I remember when I saw the AFL Championship for the first time.
Oh, too funny. Well, Matt, next week, give us a rundown. What are you expecting?
We play the Jets.
We play the Jets. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I would hope say we lose, but it's the Texans. Like
It can go either way. Yeah.
They like to fucking disappoint me. Like where I'm ready to embrace the tank, they're like, all right, let's beat the best team in the AFC. Like, what is he doing?
Y'all are gonna end up with a lovely 5-12 record.
I have a feeling. I have that feeling too. I hope not, but I have a feeling that they're going to win at least.
Now, Matt, we already told you that you guys are following in the Jaguars' footsteps, so you can embrace the tank all you want, but that doesn't mean
We're
that
not
you're going to
following your
produce
footsteps.
next
We're
year.
supposed to lose out. If we're following your footsteps, we would have lost.
Well, I mean, they can't follow your footsteps because they will probably hold on to the guys that they draft this year.
Hold on to the guys we drafted. What does that mean?
Yeah. But they'll probably have them, i.e., Jalen Ramsey, your favorite player.
We lost our best player to a bag of Skittles and masseuses. Like, we can't hold on to players either.
Every Texans fan, Ricky said, every Texans fan knows we're fighting for last place in the South, but it's fun feeding the paranoia. And I agree with that.
I give him that. It is true.
I probably talked the most shit in the group last year with the Jaguars.
Beat the Colts, yeah.
Well, no, just in general. Every week I'd be like, we're coming for you. You know.
Yeah. And Clint House did too. And then when y'all lost week 2, he kind of disappeared.
Disappeared. He had a meltdown.
Who was that?
Clint House.
Oh, yeah. Hey, he's TikTok viral now. I'm proud of it.
He is. He is.
Yeah, we're gonna.
But yeah, I say Texans win 19-12.
Nice.
I don't want it. I really don't.
I've never heard somebody sound so disappointed in winning.
I
Then
wanna be
again,
stingy
I've
or
never
stingy.
seen an entire stadium cheer for an opposing team like I did the Jaguars and the Bears last year. So
I want to be stingy for Stingley. That's how it is. I want a top pick.
listen, we're this far.
I forgot.
I'm going to
what a
ask the
first round
group
pick-
and then go ahead.
I forgot what a first round pick feels like. So I'm excited to have a first round pick.
I'm going to ask you guys this and then we'll wrap it up. We're this far in. We know the comments about up for grabs have been mentioned. So I'm going to go around the horn and ask you guys who you think is going to take the division and your predictions for the Super Bowl at this point. Who are the two teams? Okay. Because this is always fun later on in the season. So Justin, we'll start with you. Who's winning the South? Who are the two teams in the Super Bowl?
I think the Colts win it. And then Super Bowl. I'm still going to say it's going to be the Chiefs. I know they're down and out, but I just don't see it changing too much from last year. I think the Bucks get there too. We just see a repeat from last year.
All right. Chris Jackson.
Win division? Honestly, I feel like we win division. I honestly do feel like we can win division. Tennessee has managed long enough, but I think it's just like everybody's starting to really. Well, I mean, I feel like Tannehill's been figured out, and I think we're starting to see Miami Tannehill again. I think we're hitting the right stride at the right time. I don't see us losing much more games. Maybe one more game we lose.
And who do you see for the Super Bowl?
I'm saying Super Bowl. Man, that's tough. I mean, if I'm going with any two teams, you know what? Fuck it, bold prediction: Colts versus Packers Super Bowl.
Hey, you know what? I like your confidence. I like that.
We'll just go with that.
All right. Isaiah, give us who you think is going to win the South and who do you think the Super Bowl teams will be?
I'm obviously biased. I do.
That's
think
fine. We all are.
Yeah, I think the Titans win the division because they still have the lead. I don't think they're going to lose enough games to lose a division to begin with. And then for the Super Bowl, I have the Titans in the Super Bowl as well. But they got to get healthy. Like, that's I don't want to say fully healthy Titans team, but obviously you need Henry back, Julio back. I don't know, Bud Dupree, he's on IR for like 3 games, but get him back, just get healthy, and then Titans. And then I have the Cardinals, a nice week 1 rematch in the Super Bowl.
You are it's like the yin and yang, him versus John Ha, because you're so positive and John Ha is so negative. So negative. They hate him in our group. Like, you think you're doing bad? They hate John because he predicted that they were going to lose to the Jets. Okay. A few comments coming into the group, and then we'll wrap up with yours, Matt. Somebody said Patriots Cardinals. We had Miami Tannehill was way better than in a Titans uniform. I beg to differ on that one. Somebody else said Packers Bills, Chiefs and Rams. Titans win the division, but that can change next week. And so, Matt, go ahead. Who wins the division? Who is going to the Super Bowl?
Looking at the schedule, the Colts play a way tougher schedule than the Titans here and now. So I got to give the Titans. I still think the Colts make the wild card, but I don't think they're going to win the division.
Dang, so we're tied?
Yeah.
Can I do a tiebreaker?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
I'm going to say the Colts.
I mean, I like to see Colts
because I hate the Titans.
Right. I agree with you. I mean, I can't stand Bud Adams.
That's the only reason.
Right.
But I think the Titans, in reality, I think they'll win. But I don't want to say that. Go ahead.
And unlike Chris and Isaiah's far out biased picks, me and Justin are the only ones in reality. I'm going to say the Cardinals and the Ravens.
Cardinals, Ravens. Wow, we got quite a mix. I like it.
I got root for my boys JJ and D Hop. They got to get a ring, okay? So
we had somebody else. We had somebody else agree with you, Isaiah. Somebody said Titans Cardinals rematch of week 1.
Titans fan.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, we thank you guys for tuning in this evening. Quick announcement. We have launched Fan Battle Podcast Network. So if you have a podcast that you're wanting to launch and have on a platform, please reach out to me, Matt, Justin, or Harish, and we'll get you set up to have a chat with us. We're looking for a podcast, specifically sports podcast, to host on our platform. It could be any sports. We also have a Discord. Facebook has become very soft lately, and they actually flagged one of our admins for saying potato. We don't know why. That being said, we are still using, obviously, the Facebook page, but we're encouraging people to move on over to the Discord. It's a lot more open and free over there. And you can also find us on the Relevant app. We will be streaming on Jaguars Fanatics at Sundays at 9:30 starting soon, as well as in our own Vibe, as they call it. So if you download the Relevant app, you can check out all different types of vibes, and you can search for AFC South Fan Battle. Find us on there. We're going to try to get more exclusive player commentary in one of the two, either the Discord or the Relevant. So I think Michael Griffin is coming back on soon, correct, Matt? Yes, Michael Griffin. The often imitated, never duplicated. Michael Griffin will be back on joining us. So look out for that episode. And other than that... I'm going to tell him you said that.
That's fine.
And Justin is going to be hosting that podcast. So make sure you...
Well, when you say
Make sure you tune in. That being said, guys, we thank you for tuning in for this recap of Week 11. And we will see you next week for Week 12.
Let's go, Tank.